Alright, this is where we are, and this is tutorial 4 on developing a mobile application using Android. So in the previous tutorial, we tried to run the program or test our mobile application for the first time. And to do that, we have to download an emulator, and the emulator have already completed downloading, and this is what you will have. So it says available visual devices. So what you simply do is you just say, okay, and then you wait for it to launch the emulator and then actually run your app. So cold boot, just dismiss this. So you can see below it says 2 processes running. So you wait for a few seconds and it's going to start up this phone, more like it's a new phone, and then it's going to run this application that we built, or more like start up the phone, install the application on the phone, and then run it. So let's see what is going to happen. So what we're expecting to see is this screen here that says welcome tutorial, and then in the middle of the screen is going to display hello world. So as you can see, it tells us phone is starting, which is normal. It takes a few seconds and the phone have started. So the next thing is to install the application and then run the application, and that is what we wait to happen. So that takes a few seconds as well. So let's just give a few seconds and see what happens there. So it's installed the application and actually run the application, and that is what you see. So this is it. Hello world and welcome tutorial. So our application is working. I actually can send this application into my phone, the APK, install it in my phone and actually run it on my phone. That is how easy it is to build a mobile app, and you can actually send it into Play Store easily. Alright, so I'm going to close this so that we continue working on our project. So as this is closing, I would like to show you again what we are going to work on. Remember that this is what we want to achieve. Alright, so I was trying to increase the size of this and it wasn't responding. It's very strange. Very strange. Quite strange. I don't really understand it. This shouldn't be the problem. Oh no. So, okay. So, good. So we have more room right now. So let me reduce it a little bit to 22 so we can see everything. Alright, so the first thing I want to do is to show you where we are going to be getting the tools we are going to use, because in our presentation we need 2 items. We need a text or a test view. We also need a button view. So let's get back to Android. So what it means is that I want to explain there are 2 things here. We have this screen where you see everything, and we also have the back end. So if we go to activities, you can see the Java code right here where we are going to write codes, a little code, but not now. And then here you see the front end of the screen. So if we go back to this place, this first button here, you can switch between design, can switch between go to blueprint, which is more like the template. You actually can display the tool, which is what we have before now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to only use design, so everything will be very clear to me. Now if you want to see the layout of this page, you can go to activity.xml, activity.xml, which is here, but we actually could view the code behind, which is have design and you have test, right? Good. So on that you have design where we are, and we have test. So this test XML file here is actually what generated the view you are seeing here. So for instance, you can see text view, we have Android layout with wrap content. You can see Android text hello world. But I actually don't like working on this code. Let's work on the design view. I'm going to increase this so that we actually see what is happening. So the first thing you can do is to go ahead to delete this item. Delete it by pressing delete on the keyboard. So it's getting frozen. I don't know why, but it deletes. Fine. Alright, so the next thing you do, maybe we just look at what we are going to do again. So we are going to add a text and we are going to add a button. So that is very easy. To add a text, you want to click on text, and here you see different types of text, right? Good. So you have different kind of text. One thing you can see is that there is no label out there. So let's just take a text view, which is the first one, and then we place it there. You check something, okay. So text view more like corresponds to a label. So if you place it there, it displays it displays with certain grips at both edges. So you can actually wrap it to the center of the screen or center it horizontally by dragging this to this place and dragging the other one to that end. So at this point it is centered in the screen. I want to enter a text says welcome to, let's see what the text is saying. In our presentation we have welcome to Android tutorial. All right, let's go to do that. So now at the right side you can see where you can modify everything. So just you give it an ID. ID is just the name, welcome text, let's call it welcome text, and then let's say welcome to Android tutorial. Okay, so this is how it is. Now I want to make it bold and also make it a little bigger. So to do that, you simply go to text appearance and drop down. All right. So in text appearance, you can actually change a couple of things. The first thing I want to do is to set it to be bold. So just click on bold, and that is quite good. We want to change the text size to something else. I would like to use, instead of 8sp, I'm going to use 14sp. Right, so that is fine. I actually going to use a bigger one, 18sp, and that is okay. Alright, so let's get back to the PowerPoint to see what we need to do. Okay, they are in 2 lines. Good, so let's see. Maybe for now, let me leave it with at 1 line so that I will not confuse anything. So having entered it, you can also change any other thing. For instance, you want to change the color to a different color. You can change your text color here. So if you click on here, you'll be able to pick a color you want. For instance, I want to use this color, and then I can choose blue. Blue can be selected, and then OK, and everything changes completely. So the next thing we want to add is a button. So to add a button, you also come back to palettes, which is the items you are going to be using. So simply drag a button from here because there are different types of button. So drag it and actually drop it there. At this point, I would like to centralize it horizontally. So drag the right grip all the way to the extreme and drag the left grip all the way to the extreme. And at this point we have, then I can actually move this one down a little. So just go ahead to save file and just say save all, and everything saves. So before I go, I would like to test it. Maybe let me just test it by clicking on run and then clicking on OK. So at this point, if it runs correctly, which I think is going to work, it's going to change to the new one. So I allow it for some time. So if I go back to my presentation, so we actually have completed this part of the tutorial. The next one will be this. We actually create a login form in the next tutorial. So I'd like you to, okay, anyway, what you can do is to simply put up this and then restart it again. So I will allow you to do that, and in the next tutorial we'll continue with creating a login form. I would like to thank you for viewing, and then remember to click on subscribe to get notified when I make more lessons.